Hey everyone, John here in Animal Crossing New Horizons, and I'm joined with a very special guest who you may know as the person who made the A Link to the Past island. Now we're going to check out the island in all its glory, and in this video we're having a tour. But in another video we're going to put it head to head with the Super Nintendo A Link to the Past and see how well it holds up. So without further ado, Carlos, tell us a bit about you.
So my name is Carlos, and my character's name is Vane. It is a tag that I've used for several different games, and obviously now the Reddit handle has been seen everywhere posted on this. Hi. Hello from the US, sunny Florida.
I'm really excited to see your island, but first and foremost, how long did this take you?
Well, I think from the moment I unlocked the terraforming to the moment where I felt the actual landscaping was completed, it took me 4 days. I probably spent about, I would say an average about 8 hours or so a day, just strictly just terraforming and setting things up. You could probably guess probably 30 hours or so total just to make sure to get this all done.
Wow, I mean, I spent over 30 hours with the game in total, and my island looks horrible, so I'm looking forward to seeing exactly what you've done. So I've not seen this at all yet, apart from your screenshots on Reddit. So let's just have a little tour. Do you want to guide me around and show me...
let's start from where it all begins.
So from Link's house.
Yes.
And this incline wasn't here in your screenshots, was it?
That's correct. And like I said, did not expect the reception that I got for my creation here. So it was not very complete yet. So, I was, still had some work to do. As you can see, I did put an incline. Obviously, even though, the design specifically of the island was important for me to make sure that the game was still functional and make sure that the island was still fun to roam around and still easy to access areas. So obviously I put an incline here. And like I said, we can follow around just how you do in the game. And your uncle is gone, and now you're heading into Hyrule Castle.
I love that you've used this as Hyrule Castle. That's amazing.
Yes, but definitely the museum has been one of my favorite additions in this game. Just the extensive rooms, to be able to see all the exhibits. And I felt, kind of remembered how Hyrule Castle was so large and you could get lost inside, roaming around the halls. So I felt that the museum was a good piece to put in the center. And as you can see, I added a little bit of a perimeter here as well.
Would this be where we go underground to...
That is correct. So I added a stone well, and that's where we go underground. So we can go up here. Like I said, big, huge fan of A Link to the Past. Is probably, my favorite old-time video game. That's why I definitely want to dedicate that island to it. Right now, I just have a fountain here for where the sanctuary is in the game. But I will hopefully maybe find something that I think will be more fitting. But just right now as a placeholder, it's there. And as you can see here, this is the area where there's a cemetery in the game. So I put some stone tablets here just to kind of represent that.
What was it like scaling everything down? Because obviously, A Link to the Past's overworld is huge, and New Horizons gives you quite a lot to work with, but probably not quite enough to fit everything in.
Well, if you look at the map, it was actually what I ended up doing is you see how everything is gridded with A, B, C, D, E, F, and then numbers 1 through 7. What I did is I kind of pre-planned it and said, this block here, for example, B2 is going to be the Lost Forest, and C2 and D2 are going to be Kakariko Village, and etc. So I just kind of piecemealed it to make sure first and make sure that I could fit all the special spots, iconic areas in the map itself, and then that's when I started planning and just did it step by step. So let's head over to the town and you can go. So, like I had mentioned, the important part of this too, and I've seen a few comments, is how can you actually play the game. I feel like the island in the state that it is now is actually much better playable than what I had before. Everything's still organized in a sense that I do have access to a lot of the areas, and also making sure that the game is functional, which is one of the reasons why I used the map was, there's still a big long river, and I still have ponds. I still have access to all the bugs and animals, the fish in the game with the setup. And that was important for me to make sure that I could still actually play the game while I was decorating in this manner. So, as you can see here, I put all my villagers in what you would call the village here.
I love the compass over here.
I do need something to represent the rooster here.
I have a flamingo. Would a flamingo work?
Oh, I think so. Yeah,
I can send that to you some another time, and hopefully that can work as a placeholder.
Yeah, I think that's a good placeholder for now. And I did, like I said, a little bit of attention to detail. In this area here in the game, there's a bar. So that's where I decided to put Nook's Cranny for the shop. And another iconic building, if you come over here, this is in the game, this is a blacksmith shop.
Right.
So I also wanted to set up, Able Sisters here, sort of an iconic building that was within the game. And if you head down here, there's a couple extra houses. And I'm not sure if you remember the game, but there was a shovel game within the fence.
Oh, that's so cool.
The little mini game. So what I did here, and what I'm going to open it up to my friends, is sort of you do a payment, and you basically give me an item or something, a unique item, and then you can come and dig up another item out of here, and that's basically kind of a form to trade. A little fun way to trade items, a little mini game area. So I thought that's
a really cool idea. So this is more than just a gimmick to you. Like, this seems like somewhere you've actually settled in.
Yes, I think that like I mentioned, I wanted to make sure the island was functional. A lot of people was like, "What do you do now?" And I was like, "Well, you actually play the game." I get to, travel around my island, pretty well accessed to all the areas. As you can see here, the Haunted Grove.
Oh, I love this.
Especially with the cherry blossoms here, the perimeter makes it look really nice. And then obviously with the stump in the middle. And yeah, like I mentioned, just being able to actually play the game was important to me. Here's the Great Swamp, and as you can see, I used the weeds for
Makes
that.
Sense.
Make it look like that. And I wanted to make sure that I found a good place for the bamboo plants. I felt that they, kind of felt odd in my current map. I just kind of had an orchard and just set them up with it. So I was like, you know what? These would add a little extra, just good look here to this area. So this is where I ended up putting these.
Got the dungeon entrance over here too.
Right, and I guess, like I said, just a little placeholder for right now, but maybe something that could look a little bit more like the dungeon. That might be good for the future. Here, and obviously this river does not exist in the game. I did, like I mentioned, want to make sure that it was important that the river mouth from the random creation of the island came out here, so I wanted to make sure it was still functional. So I added a river just to connect that over, so it didn't look unnatural. And then here is the Desert of Mystery. And this area, I kind of want to make it, kind of like look like a little bit of a beach resort type of thing. I added the skulls here, mainly because in the game there is a trail of skulls leading into a cave.
Right.
So I wanted to kind of get that thing. This was a money tree here. It's not really supposed to be here. But, got to plant those money trees. Got to keep the funds going. Oh, by the way, I'm not sure if you noticed these.
I did. There's one back over there in the swamp too. So are these one-to-one where they are in the game? Because I'm pretty sure this is usually on like an elevated platform.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one's elevated. I may actually go ahead and bring this around and elevate this area and then put it up. But there are 8 warp zones, and those are where they should be in the game. So I kind of just a little bit of an extra touch there from the original game.
That's very cool.
And let's head over, I guess, now to Lake Hylia. It's still a little bit of a work in progress. I haven't had a chance to decorate it much. But it's a pretty good zone, big zone here. As you can notice, you may not need the vaulting pole all the time to hop between zones if it's a small enough gap.
Uh-huh.
But that was pretty interesting to find out. And that helped during the terraforming of the water, because it was definitely time-consuming to try to get yourself in an area that you can dig this giant lake in.
It would be cool if the game adds swimming eventually, because that way you sort of mimic the flippers from Link to the Past and swim through Lake Hylia.
And just here, this is just a little area up here from the game. It's a little bit elevated. There's a little bit of a waterfall. So there's just a little more detail. And then this area here, that's one of the other warp zones that there was in the game. And like I said, I have an open space here. You know, I can do whatever I want with it. So that's why I really like this setup, is that, you know, these areas don't necessarily need to be set up like they are in the Zelda game, but more to be functional as Animal Crossing areas of interest. See here, I'm doing the hybrid trees, hybrid plants here. Mm-hmm. So I just kind of use this open space to set up my flowers. You know, the resident services are not able to be moved in the game at all. So this was the natural spot where it was set up, and it's not really designated as any area in the original game. It just happens to be where it is. But it kind of adds, as you can see here, the Eastern Palace set up some areas to be able to work with. Set up a little plaza here for now. And I am looking to add some ramps here. Hopefully I can fit one here. And then also one here at the top. This is actually an update from the original. I set up a waterfall here, and I felt it more natural to come up from the top, which is, I think this is the best part here, as you can see at the top of your screen there.
Yeah.
Death Mountain and the waterfall of wishing. Definitely the most scenic, I think, of the island.
Yeah, this looks really good.
Yeah, so I did the gaps, sort of, you know, how they look like in the game, with the river, and just plenty of waterfalls. The waterfall features have looked really nice, so I definitely had fun setting this up.
So how much of the setup was just terraforming? Was that the majority of this creation?
Yes, I mean, so a lot of it had also to do with moving the houses, moving buildings around, and then also the trees. You know, it took a lot of fruit to have to dig up full trees to be able to move them around the island, so I can actually get around them for terraforming as well. We can come up here and check out the mountain. Here's another warp zone that's within those three things. Like I had mentioned, functionality, right, for the actual Animal Crossing game. There are bugs that spawn on tree stumps, tree trunks that are cut down. So as you can see here, the beetles. So I'm still able to access all the things of the actual game itself without, you know, any kind of thing. This is what would be Tower Hera.
Yeah, this looks really, really good.
Yeah, and then there's a cross bridge at the top, and just a little bit more areas here. I think this is one of the other dungeons. There is another level you can build. If you try to climb up it with the ladder, you'll get a message that says it's dangerous to climb any higher. So I was not able to put the warp up there, but it's still placed in.
It's close enough.
Area. Yeah, right.
What we need is just some animals roaming around here, like when Link first comes to the Dark World. Mm-hmm. Should be so fitting for the game.
So you see here, kind of made a waterfall. This is, you know, the elevated areas. Some fish only spawn in elevated areas, so you know, it may need a lot of bait because it's a very small area, but I at least can still fish those up. And I kind of connected the river here over to all these waterfalls, just kind of aesthetics, and also just make it look more natural. and you can little hop from the little island to island, which I thought was really fun. And then the Waterfall of Wishing, which is really nice. And actually, I have a little area here to play with, and obviously I can still access a lot of the spaces. I think that's everything. Is that everything in the map?
Did we go to the Lost Woods?
Oh, no.
Ooh.
Let's go check that out. Actually, there's a little fun Easter egg there that I set up, so it should be fun.
One thing that I'm waiting for from New Leaf is just the Zelda-themed items, because that'd be an amazing place to actually put the Master Sword in the Lost Woods.
Exactly, and that's actually so the starting inspiration was actually I wanted to set up a nice huge orchard and plant all the fruit trees, and I was like, you know what, that would be really cool to set up like a Lost Woods area, and that's when I started thinking, you know what, why not just go ahead and do everything else. So here is the setup for now. Right now it's a tree branch, which is the first weapon that you have access to on Breath of the Wild. Just a little bit of a placeholder for now until the sword comes along. That eventually takes its place.
That's very cool. I love how there's a rock next to the warp zone over here as well.
That was completely random.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, so you break the rocks and they respawn into another place, and they just so happened to respawn here, and I was like, this is perfect. I'll leave it.
Amazing.
So yeah, there's a little bit more decorating to do, I think. So definitely more flowers and stuff like that, just so areas don't look so barren. But overall, the landscaping project, I think, is more or less complete. Yeah. Maybe some small adjustments to make sure I can build bridges and or inclines where I need them. But as you can see, pretty decent access to the entire island. There's still resources that I can farm, for my entire island, and it's still fun. I like fishing in this giant lake. It just feels like it should be full of fish. It's a big water area. So I've definitely enjoyed playing on this island, just playing the regular Animal Crossing game too as well. So,
So you've become a bit internet famous over the last couple of weeks, or I guess last week. How does it feel just to see everyone talking about your island?
The reception has been so positive that it just, it's made me very happy. Especially in these times right now that we're dealing with. It's nice to see some positivity and use this game to just kind of bring everyone together. I know the Link to the Past is one of the most iconic games that's ever, Nintendo's ever released. And this one right now is just great timing to come out. Everybody's enjoying their islands, and I think that it's been good. I do appreciate all the positive feedback that I've gotten, and it definitely a new position for me to be in. So it's just I'm just happy to have people enjoy and see it, and share with everyone.
Right.
Just the passion for these games, which right now we'll be spending a little bit more time than normal in them, but it's definitely been fun.
Yeah, that's the bright side of it all.
That's right.
I guess, what inspired you to make this, though? Because I guess previous Animal Crossing games wouldn't let you customize your islands to this extent, other than just like themed items. So what made it click with you that you were going to remake Link to the Past entirely within this game?
Well, just looking at the map, I looked at the Link to the Past map, and I said, oh, I can do, cliff sides here, and I could do a long river there. I could do ponds here. I can set up all my villagers, because I wanted to set up a nice little, area, for all my villagers to be placed. And then it just started to click, and I was just like, you know what? I can actually make a functioning Animal Crossing island without, sacrificing the game, but it also, bring the aesthetic of a classic, game that a lot of people spend a lot of hours in, either in their childhood or, well, obviously in their childhood. They're all older now. So, but yeah, it's just, I just thought that it was a cool map to have it be still a playable Animal Crossing island. So that was really what the inspiration was. A huge Zelda fan, as you can see here, the flag here is the.
I also noticed your phone is even Zelda themed as well.
Yes. I do actually have a tattoo on my shoulder of this symbol. So big Zelda fan all my life. So this basically game, being a Nintendo game, I figured there would be Zelda theme stuff coming in, and I figured, you know what, let's just set it all up and enjoy it.
Is your house just your house, or is it also a Zelda theme?
Right now it's just the house. I just have. You can come inside. I'm gonna have to clean some stuff up. Hold
on. I mean, anything you've done makes my island look. It puts it to shame. So I can't expect anything bad in here.
I have definitely spent a lot of time on this game for the first few days. So.
Oh wow.
But yeah, just a normal little setup for now. Just. Nothing really. I just had the 2 rooms. The one on the side is, I'm going to try to set it up as kind of like a bathroom or something.
I do love how the layering looks for Eastern Palace. It fits in so well with how it actually looks in the game. It's a brilliant theming.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I definitely like the paths from the terraforming. I just use all the standard ones that they have available. Didn't create any special ones. I could maybe in the future make some custom designs. To make it a little bit more close to what it is in the game, but I'm not gonna prioritize every single tiny little detail. I think I've added enough detail to be satisfied with the way it's set up as is. So I'm happy with it. It's funny. I posted the picture of the kind of pixelated map that you pull up on the actual game. But if you pull up the detailed map that with the actual gameplay,
right,
you'll see that I did put a little bit of hard work into making sure that some of the just edges of things were even accurate to some of the areas, and the pathways here in the town are as close as can be to the pathways in the actual village in the game. So. Definitely put a little bit of effort to make sure that it looked as close as possible to the actual game, not just the standard, map. So I just, like to put that a little attention to detail. And it wasn't very difficult. Like I mentioned, I played a lot of hours in that game, so a lot of these areas just felt familiar. To once I started building, I'm like, oh yeah, this looks exactly like I imagined it in the game. So,
like, do you ever get any urges just to remake like a Mario themed island or like a Metroid themed island or anything like that, or are you just happy that you've done this?
Like you had mentioned, it's the challenge that you only have one. So do I scrap this completely, restart a new game, and then make something else, or do I keep this game and then do the extra hard work, which was moving the houses around and moving all the trees and digging that up? Because that was a lot of the time-consuming part too. And I think that's really it. Is I did wish there was a way to be able to have multiple islands in one console. So I think in the future, maybe, I think I was able to figure out an effective way to use the terraforming or landscaping things that I had. So maybe if there is a challenge, I might take it and then just say, you know what, let's create something new here and see if people like it. So I definitely wouldn't count it out, but I kind of want to play the game now. I spent so much time on this project that I'm like, I want to get back to what it is. Pick fruit and dig up fossils and go fishing and shop around for new items. So I kind of wanted to just actually play the game for now, and not just focus on the landscaping part of it.
I'm sort of stunned. I'm just making my way around, and it's crazy just how fitting everything is. Is there a certain place you're particularly proud of? Is there one little location that you just feel matches better than any other?
I think some of the biggest people. One of the biggest things of the island that's gotten a lot of popularity has been the Waterfall of Wishing and just the Death Mountain. And I think it looks very scenic. It looks very nice. My own personal favorite was the Great Swamp because I was like, well, how do I make it look like a swamp? And then the one thing that we are so particular about picking off on our islands are weeds. And I was like, you know what? Just set up just a bunch of weeds, and I was blown away because I was like, man, this really does look like a swamp. And then, just like I mentioned, I wanted bamboo plants just to have that resource. And I was like, you know what, this would be a great place to set up the bamboo plants. I think it would bring a lot to the aesthetic. So that was my personal favorite area for sure. A lot of people have been liking the waterfalls, just the way they look. It looks great in this game. So definitely a close second favorite for sure.
So was that Zelda's Lullaby as the town theme?
Yeah, I believe that's Zelda's Lullaby. That's what it is.
That's awesome.
I did want to make. I'm not very musically inclined, so if anybody out there can make the secret jingle, that's what I want it to be changed.
That'd be amazing. Yeah.
Yes, that's what I really wanted, but I can't figure it out because I don't know music, so I'm not musically talented at all. So.
Well, if anyone in the comments can do that, just give us the notes and we'll steal it from them. Alright, well I think that's about everything that we can see in this island for now. But I love how easy it is to navigate. Whenever I visit someone else's island, I never know where to go. But when you said go to the shop, I immediately knew where to go because of my familiarity with A Link to the Past. So that's just such a cool way to memorize everything.
Yeah, absolutely. It definitely makes it easy to find things. And also, when you have friends over, you can let them, oh, I'm fishing in the Great Swamp, or just fishing in Lake Hylia, and people will know where you are on your own island. So that makes it pretty easy for visitors as well.
Okay, so I think that's about it for now then. Is there anywhere that we can find you, like Twitter or any social media or anything?
Well, I don't really have a huge social media presence. This kind of blew up out of nowhere. But who knows? If I do create something else, I'll let you guys know, and maybe I might start some content creation. Who knows? But just a shout out to everybody that's been supportive and just reached out, and for all the love of the franchise and just this game in general. So I appreciate all the positive feedback, and hopefully we'll see each other again.
Alright, Carlos, thank you again so much for letting us visit. This has been a really awesome time, and if you enjoyed this video, give us a like, and also be sure to subscribe to Game Explained for a lot more on Animal Crossing New Horizons and other things gaming too. Until next time, bye!